Trade rooks, trade queens, completely winning endgame. Like, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to trade the rooks, trade the queens. Just get all the pieces off the board. The second way is to try to, you know, get in and checkmate. And my opponent actually is declining a trade. So while my bishop is a target, I now have still this removal move, this rook e6. And once we get that deep into the territory, it's very bad. Position is very, very hopeless. And in fact, here I have a very beautiful tactic, which I think I'm going to play just out of the beauty of the game of chess. Whenever you have a disconnect like this, of course, if you're just watching this, you should trade the queens. Trade the queens, or at least, you know, take this and just mate. I have this unbelievable move, f6, which disconnects the bishop and the queen. However, it hangs my queen. However, in that position, I have pawn takes knight, double check. Double check. So that's a threat, and that's a threat, which means my opponent has to move the king. When my opponent moves the king here, which is the only legal move, I will move my rook, opening up a discovered attack on that king and covering the h-file. So I will move my rook to h6. And then it's basically going to be made on the next move as the queen has to block. I have to play this for the beauty of the game. I have to sacrifice my queen, double check, and mate. But if you're just playing this game, trade the queens, march your pawn forward, win the endgame very easily. But of course, you know, I'm sorry, I have to. Sometimes a beautiful move must be played. And hopefully my opponent sees the free queen. If not, I will be very sad. But we'll see. Now keep in mind, this only works if you take the knight. If you take the bishop, this doesn't work. But now it's double check. So you cannot take or go here or here, right? You have to play king g8. You cannot block. And now preventing the escape. This is absolutely amazing. Rook to h6. And it's mate. Just amazing. Amazing little tactical trick at the end. Don't worry if you cannot see such things yet. f6 is the top engine move. It's an amazing little idea. But again, you do this and suddenly you are completely lost. So be very careful. The alternative is this, f6. You know, if knight d5, you take with the pawn, or you do this, and this is the way you win. You just send it down into an endgame, your rook swerves around, you take all of black's pawns, you bring in your king, and you win. Black has basically nothing here. This was a very interesting game. You know, it was this kind of idea to bring the bishop out and bolster the center. And I think my opponent here should not have taken. I think taking was a mistake. I think they should have tried to keep two bishops on the board, because this is just a clearly better position for white. And then I think I don't know what on earth king f8 was. I don't know. That was not a good move. Should have definitely played e5 and tried to play in the center. Once this got going and I got my initiative going here, I just sort of overwhelmed the black position. And then knight a7 was a bit of an overreaction. I mean, you cannot do such things to your own pieces. The knight is just completely in jail. And, I mean, just sort of like effortless improving moves here. You know, queen to d3, you know, king to g2. Probably should have brought my rooks to the center. Probably should have played h4 a little bit faster. And here was another instructive moment not to overreact. Not to take, to just keep the tension. And my opponent here playing f5... You know, it was another moment, like we had to anticipate the incoming threat. We didn't overreact. I really like the concept of putting this beacon bishop on d5, and then very nice idea here by white to just crack things open with f3. So I think this was a pretty instructive game in terms of handling a close position.